man, it's a continuous cycle no matter what place, what event, what the situation is, people still have that hatred for African Americans.
Isaiah Biggs is reacting to another mass shooting, but this time it's in his hometown of Jacksonville. He lives in Atlanta, but was home visiting family. He was running errands with his mom and nephews when the shooting happened.
At the Dollar General, we're like, wait, what?
In the dash cam video, you hear the crash, but in the officer's body camera video, you see just how dangerous this stop was. Oh! As the chaos settles, the damage to the windshield becomes visible. A Lawrenceville police officer then gets to work, using a knife to cut the airbags and then break his own windshield.
Are you okay? I don't know.
Fire crews from across Georgia and Florida rushed to contain this massive fire that has shut down Brunswick and parts of St. Simon's Island.
We have on scene now ourselves, Glenn County, Savannah, Jacksonville, Wayne County, just to name a few.
The blaze has kept people on lockdown since this afternoon. It nearly went out, but reignited because of strong winds, and fire crews said they couldn't keep it out.
We could not foresee where the wind would be moving.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy.
That was Brittany Fletcher's reaction back in July of 2022. But over the next 9 months, the case involving the man police say was involved in a kidnapping case in Fayetteville has turned into much more. Fayetteville police charged Augustus Romaine after rescuing 9 people from the home on Selwyn Court in Fayetteville last July. They say he's the leader of the Black Hammer Party, and the home was the group's headquarters.
It really is shocking.
What was meant to be a fun weekend on Lake Lanier ended in tragedy for several families. It started Thursday. Deputies believe 24-year-old Thomas Milner may have been electrocuted at a family's dock along Dove Trail in Forsyth County. Authorities say a friend jumped in to save him but felt a burning sensation he recognized as an electric shock. He swam ashore, turned off the power box, and pulled the victim out of the water. He did CPR until medics arrived, but it wasn't enough. Milner died the next day at the hospital.
I gotta bury another ball player.
Ernest Radcliffe is the head coach for the Morgan Park High School baseball team.
We're not supposed to do that.
Coach Radcliffe is talking about former standout athlete Jaton Sterling, who went to Morgan Park High School in Chicago and was shot and killed near Clark Atlanta University campus in Atlanta Tuesday.
All over the country, players calling me. How did this happen to Sterling?
Thursday, police announced the arrest of 25-year-old Keontae Holloman Peoples.
Yo, back up! Get out of the car! Here!
You see the suspect take off down Greenbrier Parkway and turn onto the highway, but he didn't get away for long.
All right, Phoenix, we have eyes on the stolen patrol vehicle.
An APD chopper was already up and spotted the car quickly. You can see the suspect turned on the police lights and is speeding down the connector. Now let's show you how this ended in a fiery crash on University and McDonough.
41 hard in the train tracks.
The car flips over, but that's not the worst of it. Police shot this video of an APD cruiser on fire. He was walking to the Hard Rock Cafe for a dinner reservation when he heard loud explosions and then saw the flames. Video from above shows the heavy smoke coming from the patrol car. It was moments later that fire crews arrived and were able to quickly get the flames out. We got video of the group of protesters marching peacefully up Peachtree before a small faction turned violent. For so many in the area, they happened upon the aftermath, driving by the intersection of Peachtree Street Northwest and Andrew Young International Boulevard.
One of the most painful experiences of my life.
But Kirby Smart is defending his program after the deadly crash.
No policy that we have caused this accident.
He says UGA doesn't have a culture problem despite several speeding and street racing arrests.
You be your brother's keeper has kind of been our saying. So you always want to take care of your brother and celebrate responsibly.
He says he had no idea about Jalen Carter's speeding ticket, where police said several players have been caught speeding down Athens roads.
There's this misperception that we're trying to hide something. We're in search of information, too.
We were there nearly 3 years ago when then-President Donald Trump's attorney, Rudy Giuliani, showed this video from State Farm Arena and declared it the smoking gun of massive voter fraud in Fulton County.
They took ballots from under a table and counted them in the middle of the night. This is what they were doing all throughout the country. Luckily, There's now a tape of it.
Fulton elections workers Ruby Freeman and her daughter Shay Moss testified before the January 6th committee and talked about how those unfounded accusations led them to be targeted by threats and harassment.
This is the most frightening thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
The words, signs, and signals from anti-Semitic protesters along Lower Roswell Road were shouted as Shabbat services were wrapping up at the Chabad of Cobb County. It wasn't soon after that those in the community also began to voice their outrage.
Exercising your First Amendment right.
The Anti-Defamation League warned Friday about an anti-Semitic group participating in a tour of Georgia this weekend. Cobb County police were there and called the protests peaceful, even as protesters and people who live in the neighborhood came toe-to-toe, shouting in each other's faces.
After we found out, I saw it on camera, and the door was smashed. They shattered the entire doors.
Workers at BT Collectibles in Woodstock have spent the past few days cleaning up the mess thieves left behind.
Shattered the glass here. It was everywhere.
The owner says the suspects targeted several high-value items.
Skipped this case, and then went to the second and third cases and fourth, 2, 3, 4. We had them arranged differently, and those cases were the highest value cards in the store.
And this store is not alone. Police in Roswell gave Channel 2 Action News a report detailing how thieves broke into another store on Mansell Road.
What the judge ruled was that non-residents of Atlanta can assist in obtaining these petitions.
While construction continues on the controversial Atlanta Police and Firefighter Public Training Center, opponents trying to halt its construction have not turned in the 100,000 signatures they claim to have gathered to get a referendum about the issue on the November ballot.
Once these signatures are submitted, this is going to wholly be contained within the authority of the municipal clerk. The municipal clerk is the highest appointed constitutional officer in the city.
We really have no idea if this is just a one-time fluke, one-time increase in the infant mortality rate, or if this is something we're going to start seeing year after year.
It is too soon to tell. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention analyzed data from 2021 to 2022. In Georgia, it registered a 13% increase in infant mortality compared to 3% nationwide. Only 3 other states saw significant increases. 892 babies died in Georgia in 2022, 116 more than the year before, with Black babies having a higher death rate.
And the study shows us what happened, but really doesn't give us any answers as to why this has happened or what we can expect to see in the future.
I wake up every morning just very focused in on what we do to keep kids safe and to make safe decisions.
It's top of mind for Henry County School Superintendent Mary Elizabeth Davis, who has hosted these talks since being named to the top post in 2017.
All of our safety and security investments that have occurred over the last 6 years come right from the voices, perspectives, and experiences of students and parents and our staff.
That includes door ajar alarms and more conflict and mediation skills for students.
The FBI and FCC saying that all the criminals need to do is get to these USB ports. Then they can upload malware so that anyone who plugs in could be hacked. Once you connect your phone to a dirty USB port, as it's called, someone else can lock your phone, export your data, and even upload your passwords to criminals.
We've been knowing they getting information from just about everywhere.
So what's the smart play here? The FCC says plugging into a wall outlet's your best bet. You can also buy a portable charger or a data blocker cable that you can plug into those free charging ports. They say that will then protect your phone and its information.
Early evening clouds and light rain Tuesday above Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's miles away from where Hurricane Idalia is expected to make landfall, but still a place where folks along the Florida-Georgia line can drive up and camp out at no charge.
We're part of this community, and it's just something that we want to do to try to help out.
The Speedway teamed up with Henry County Emergency Management, making the decision to open up the gates here with people and safety in mind once again. This is video from 2017 when people made their way to the Speedway during Hurricane Irma.
We're preparing for the summertime. Kids are getting out of school. Families are preparing for summer travel. And we want to make sure that each family is prepared to respond to that immediate incident.
They're the moments we all hope to never encounter, but when you drive up on a crash, find someone injured in a shooting or an accident, the Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office is helping the public be ready for the worst-case scenarios.
Anybody can be a first responder. anybody can respond.
The sheriff's office said nearly 50 people jumped at the chance to be ready during a catastrophe. Jimmy Carter's impact on Georgia and the world shines through in reaction to the news of his declining health. Governor Brian Kemp tweeting, "Marty, the girls and I are praying for former President Carter, former First Lady Rosalind Carter, and their family during this time. We ask all Georgians to join us in sending them our thoughts and prayers." Many remarking on the impact that the longest living president had. Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, who said, "Our prayers are with the Carter family at this time. May they find peace in all that President Carter has contributed throughout his decades of service to Georgia, our nation, and our world."
She was the essence of a Spelman woman.
At Spelman College, Dr. Christine King Ferris was so much more than the sister of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
She was here for 56 years. Think about it. She came at the age of 2. She spent 93 years as the fabric of Spelman College.
She was a third-generation alum. Her mother and grandmother were Spelman grads, so are her daughter and granddaughter. She was also the school's longest-serving faculty member, teaching for 48 years.
That she was someone who set a very high standard for herself, for her students, for the faculty, for all of us.
And now is a beautiful bronze statue of Dr. King.
Saturday, a symbolic return to Vine City almost 55 years ago since Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was killed.
That he grew up in this neighborhood. I grew up in this neighborhood. And it gives an opportunity for those who will visit here to connect to what he represents.
Now in Rodney Cook Sr. Peace Park, an 8-foot statue of the Atlanta civil rights leader who changed the world. The sculpture, coined "I've Been to the Mountaintop," is what Dr. King's daughter said represents her father's essence. On the top of Stone Mountain, a symbolic sunrise on a chilly Easter Sunday.
Didn't know it was going to be this cold.
But no amount of cold could stop the hundreds who either walked or took the sky ride to the top for the historic sunrise service.
God, we thank you for dying on the cross so that we can have access to eternal life.
In Dunwoody, members at Dunwoody United Methodist heard a message of hope from senior pastor Dr. Phil Schroeder.
There's so many reasons that we should be weeping. If you hear the subdued Easter hymns in Ukraine today, promises of God have been fulfilled and that new life is possible.
Very goal-oriented and they know what they want.
That's how realtor Latoya Lionel Forbes describes the surge of single women becoming homeowners. She's seeing that happen firsthand, not just in Georgia, but across the country, even with mortgage applications down.
And so they're looking at it as that too. I'm making an investment in myself. This may not be my forever home, but this is an investment to get to that next home.
And start to build generational wealth.
Well, we shouldn't have to wait to start living our dream.
Thank you very much for your donation of the $30,179.
Leaders of Fayette Care Clinic got to personally thank rapper Rick Ross for his donation Monday. The clinic provides free care to people 18 and older in Fayette County and was in danger of closing because it didn't have enough funds. Ross knows these clinics matter and wasn't going to let that happen.
A clinic like this means a lot to me. I lost my father at an early age, and I felt like one of the reasons I lost him so early was because of his lack of health care.
I just owe a great debt of gratitude to all of these gentlemen for being there, for the Atlanta Police Department, for their work just to catch the person before they were able to get away.
Sometimes tearful as he sat down with his wife Jan by his side, Horn says he has become a praying man.
You do ask yourself that. Because when the doctors, and I had 2 surgeons say, you should be dead. You shouldn't be here. The bullets 2 millimeters from your heart nicked the lung and hit other organs. And
I'm blessed to get paid for something I like to do and that I'm proficient in. Because I strive each and every day to be better and better.
51 years. That's how long Coy Dumas Jr. has spent getting better and better, driving buses for MARTA. He's logged over 2 million miles without causing an accident.
But it's just been amazing. I always tell people, by His grace, I've been here 50 plus years, now it's 51 years. And it's either something wrong with me or MARTA's a good place to work.